Hi there, very good day to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us in your human resources management lectures today. Today's session is about human resource planning. Uh, you got to plan the human resource requirements. Okay, if you don't have a plan, as I told you in the previous lectures, if you have more people than what you need, you will lose a lot because human resource is not something that listens to you. Human resource is something that always costs you. If you have one person today, your meter is running, you have to pay for it. It doesn't matter if he works for you or not. So you have to be careful about planning them. If you over recruit, if you have more people than what you really need, it will cost you a lot because you're going to pay for them for nothing. If you need 5 staff, if you have 6 staffs, then you got to pay for that additional staff. Okay, overstaff, and we have to pay for it. That's the big cost. Meantime, if you have other staff, if you don't have enough staff to serve your customers, that will also cost you a lot of money. How? Let's say you are a restaurant. To run the show daily, to serve your customers daily, you may need 5 people inside your kitchen. So that's the show you every day do. But if you have 4 people for a particular specific day, you will have a big queue waiting on the counter on the till at the till to get the food served. And your kitchen is so slow. Your frontline runners are taking orders very fast. But if your kitchen is delaying to deliver the food, the customers cannot wait because food they are hungry. So what they do, they'll go cross the road restaurant and they'll have it there. When they walk off from your restaurant because you deliver slowly, when they walk inside some other restaurant, they will never come back to you because they will get adapted to that taste to their tongue. So you lost your business here. Under staff will make you lose your customers because your customer services, the quality of delivery, the speed of delivery will go down. So the problem is if you have the right amount of staff, you can run the show very comfortably, profitably. If you have overstaff, costly. If you have understaff, again costly. This is why it is again another challenge. We have to have the right number of people with the right competencies, the right skills, so that you can run the show clearly or profitably. Now, let's see. Organizations they need plans. They need plans when they run the show. There are so many reasons when they run the business. Number one, the business growth. When your business grows, you need people. Okay, if I talk on our campus here, the reason why we need to talk about this, we are growing. Our batches are getting more numbers than before. We need more lecturers now. Our batches are growing more than what we used to do. So we need more coordinators. We need more accounting staff. We need more IT support. So to do all of these additional works more than your usual workload, you need people to work for you because the business is growing. We are introducing new products. We are introducing education management level 7 diploma. We are introducing masters in education. We are introducing logistics management. New courses are coming up. So to introduce these new products, new courses, we need people to run these games so that the business grows. You need people. When the business grows, if you say I need people, you cannot randomly recruit some people. You need to have a plan. Okay, I'm starting a course next week with 25 students in that batch. So I need a couple of lecturers. I need a couple of assignment markers. I need one accounting staff to do the dealing with the cash, the payment of the students, the payment of the lecturers, and so on. So we need additional people. So you never just go there and pick some lecturers, pick some accountants. No, if you do that way, you will be over recruiting. And if you ignore that I'm growing, I'm having more business, introducing new product, but I ignore recruiting more people, you will be understaffed. And that will make a problem as well. Your students will complain because classes are not happening as it was scheduled. And the delivery is not quality enough. The support from the IT department is not working and so on. So you will definitely have problems in that. So when you introduce some new products, it is a growth. When you introduce your business to a new market, it is a growth. When you introduce some extension of your existing product portfolio, existing operations, it's a growth. when growth happens, you definitely need to recruit staff with a plan. You need to calculate how many staff do I need, what type of people. Let's say, for example, if you have a restaurant and if you're running that with 5 staff, and if you introduce another restaurant on the other city closer to this, you may need another chef, couple of kitchen helpers. You need a couple of crew members to look after your lobby. You need 1 or 2 staff all the times throughout to stay in the till to take the orders and deliver the orders to your customers. So you have to plan how many hours you're going to open the restaurant and how many shifts you have and how many customers you're roughly going to serve, then how many people do I need? Okay, so it is a problem. You have to plan how many you need, otherwise you will lose your business. So growth is one of the factors. Growth is one of the factors that you got to consider when you recruit people. Okay, that will make a big impact in your business. So we need to definitely have some plan as to how many, as to who, how many people, and who are they. Okay, that's one of the reasons why we need to have a plan. The second one is about the business decline. When the business declines as well, we need to have a plan to do some staff cut, cost cut. We may have to hire some people. We may have to upskill some people. We may have to recruit some different people, firing the existing people. It happens. For example, let's say if you are a restaurant, if your business is declining, if your customers are declining, your revenue is declining, you definitely need to do some staff cuts. Maybe you have to do some shift cuts for people. If you give 5 shifts for your staff, you may have to do 4 shifts now. That will make a big impact in your business. In that case, you have to reduce your staff and you have to fire them. You have to make them redundant. We don't use the word firing. Firing is about sacking someone. It's about redundant, making them redundant. Okay, there is a law for it that regulates. You cannot simply say someone that I don't want you to get out from the shop, from the office. No, there are ways to do that. It's highly legally risky. You become legally liable if you don't follow the procedures. I'm talking about the western part of it, where the labor law has grown very much in favor of the labor than the bosses. Right? So when the business declines, you need plan. You cannot simply pick someone whom you don't like from your kitchen if you're a restaurant. You have to work out how many crew members I have to cut off from my staff's payroll, how many chefs I need to keep, and how many to be eliminated, to be redundant, to be made redundant, and so on. You have to have a plan when your business declines, because you have overstuff. When business declines, you will feel that you have overstuff. That will make a big impact. And the business changes, technology changes, business changes. For example, let's say the same story about a restaurant. You may be running a restaurant selling rice and curry for your local community. That's the food style they usually eat. That's their food behavior. That's their habit. So that's what you produce. So you produce rice and curry. Now, if the society is changing, if they have more interest in eating pizzas, burgers, biryani, those kind of different versions of food, you may have to introduce those in your restaurant. You may take your older menu off of your menu list as well. You may not cook rice anymore. You need to have some pizzas. So to cook pizza, you need to have some chef. You need to know how to make the dough, how to make the oven, how to prepare the dough to the oven, how to put the toppings and the flavorings of it, and so on. You need to have someone to do this. In that case, your existing staff, they used to cook rice, may not be able to do this pizza cooking for you. So in that case, what you do, you may upskill your existing chefs. You teach them how to cook pizza instead of rice. They know how to cook rice. We don't cook rice anymore. So we teach them, we train them how to cook pizzas this time. And that's not easy. You have to do that. Otherwise, you may make this existing staff redundant. You tell the staff, tell your existing chef that we're not going to cook rice anymore, rice and curry anymore. No more rice and curry in the kitchen. We're going to make pizzas If you can cook pizza, if you can learn to cook pizza, stay with us. Otherwise, leave. If the guy says, I'm leaving, you got to go to the market to find out some chefs who can cook pizza for you. So this business change will make an impact in your HR plan. That is another stuff. Labor cost control. If your revenue is reducing, or declining, you may have to cut some cost of your labor. As I told you, the very first session, the most costly resources that you could ever use in your business is your human resource than any other. You may have a vehicle, it's a resource of your company. If you keep the vehicle in the garage, not driving it, it doesn't have any cost. But if you keep your employee not coming to the office, staying at home during the COVID time, you got to still pay him. That's the law. So the labor cost is very high. Though you get use of them or not, you got to definitely pay them. It's a cost. So if you have overstaff, if you have understaff, or if you have the right amount of staff, sometimes you may have exactly the right amount of staff in your organization. However, if your business is declining, if your customer numbers are declining, you got to look into the cost cut of those people. And that will make an impact. Cost cut means you may have to upskill your staff to do more work within that same time duration using some new technology, and you get rid of some of them. Let's say if you have 5 staff, you may train 3 of them to do some more additional work, and you take 2 of them off the list of your staff so that you can cut some cost. This needs a plan. Location of operation, if your business is relocated to some other place. Otherwise, if you're finding some new additional brand new locations to introduce your business to enter into a new market, you need a plan. You need to bring in new people, new staff, new recruitments, and so on. So this is again another factor that you got to plan your HR with. Impact of technology, that is again another big factor. These days the technology is changing. So we need to have the tech savvy employees to work with the technology. The manufacturing earlier days, because manual manufacturing, that came into the semi-automated, half done by the machine, half done by the people. Today's concept is about the fully automated technology does the work for you. Make the program, you give the command, you click your mouse, and the production starts. You just relax and observe what's going on until something goes wrong. You don't have anything to do. In this case, we need the tech savvy recruitments, tech savvy staff to run the work. In that context, you may have staff inside. You may have to train them to look after this tech savvy operation. That's one thing. Otherwise, when you go to the market, you may have to find people with the technology. Okay, the technology comes in. You may not need too many people either. Recently, there was a survey in America. The startups of American industry, American economy, the startups, new company. Startup means new companies. They are the people. They recruit 80% of the people. They recruit 80% of the people of the labor market. The rest of the 20% of the people are recruited by the established businesses. Okay. The reason is because established businesses, they're not looking into recruiting new people. They're looking into applying new technology to reduce the existing number of staff. That is what they look for. But when you start your business, you need more people because you don't know anything. You need people to tell you what to do. You need experts to run the business for you. You need to learn things from them. You may not be able to apply the technologies because that means costly initially. The setup cost is very high. So instead, you get these staff to start the business with some less incremental costs. On the long run, technology is cheaper, labor is expensive. However, initially, if you have 1 or 2 laborers, you can start the business. Okay, because the initial cost monthly, you have to pay them some salary to start the business with. So this technology also has powerful impact in your HR plan. When you want to run your HR, run your business, there are factors that influence you to plan your business accordingly. Okay, so that is the stuff. That's the case of this. Now, As I told you in the past, let's see about what's happening in human resource management and how difficult it is to do some prediction when you plan. Your planning of your HR is 100% prediction. Let's say if you want to start a restaurant in the next city with your existing branch, so you're starting a new branch. When you start this, you predict that I'm going to serve 200 customers per day, and these 200 customers will buy one pizza each for them. So that I need to make 200 pizzas and I need a chef for this and so on. You calculate all of these things based on the prediction. You predict 200 customers, 200 pizzas, and how many chefs do you want. That is how you predict and do the work. Okay, prediction, right? And HR is based on prediction, so that is very difficult to predict. If your prediction goes wrong, if you predict wrong, it will cost you more if you over recruit. If you, it will cost you even more if you under recruit as well. That is why it is challenged. But if you want to purchase something to sell, it doesn't make that amount of cost to you. You can purchase it as you want, and if you need more, you can order it again. You can immediately purchase. It is not about a simple purchasing of human resource as you purchase your inventory. If you need 5 computers to sell, you order 5. And if it is one less, you can order one more, no problem. But if you want 5 people to recruit, it's a process. It doesn't take one transaction. You have to go to the market, you have to search for people, apply your advertisements, correct the CV, interviews, assessment centers, boardroom interviews, telephone interviews, exams, so many things that takes about 2-3 months. So you have to plan in advance as well. Now, it is a complex process. Let me explain that to you even a bit further. Now, is a pharmacy. I'm talking about a pharmacy. In a pharmacy, you have tablets, you have capsules. Okay. If I ask you, how many Panadols do you have? How many Panadols do you have? Your system will exactly tell me how many little tablets of Panadols you have in your stock. I won't miss it. Okay. If I ask you how many tetracycline you have in your stock, you would simply calculate using your computer. Within 1 minute, you will tell me exactly how many, how many tablets are there in your stock. So it's easy to calculate the inventory of your stock if it is, even if it is small, tiny little thing. Okay, no problem with that. But if I ask you, big human beings inside an organization, how many people do you have? They can teach some law. Don't have an answer. In the university, we have lecturers. They teach different subjects. They teach business. They teach law. They teach psychology. They teach tourism. They teach engineering. We have lecturers teaching different subjects, and you exactly know what they teach because they're teaching. But if I ask you randomly, how many lecturers you have in your lecture panel who can teach law, you don't have an answer. There are lawyers with first degree law and they have the masters in law, LLM as well. But your HR management doesn't have an information about that, or they don't know, they can't remember. They know the CV. The CV says you have LLM with one lecturer, but you can't remember. So what you do, if you need a law faculty lecturer, you go to the market, you find out some lawyer, and you bring him down to lecture for you. But fortunately, or in fact, unfortunately, you have the lawyer within your industry, within your staff, within your lecture panel already. You pay for them as well. I'm talking about myself. I'm teaching business subject, and university knows I'm a business lecturer, but I can teach law as well. They know, but they forgot because in my CV it says LLB and LLM in law. They forgot. If they need a lawyer lecturer, they ignore me. They forget about me because they can't remember. They go to the market, they bring in a lecturer, they pay him a big salary for his lecturing of law. But they're already paying me. They only have to tell me to do some additional subjects for law, and they are ignoring me. Inevitably, I would say they don't know. That's why. This is the problem of HR. You don't have the uh, personal inventory clearly. When I mean personal inventory, it is not about the number of people, it's about the competencies of the people you have. You might have one personal, you can tell you exactly how many employees, 5, 6 employees, 25,000 employees, not a problem. But if I ask you the competencies of those guys, you don't have an information. this costs you a lot. You may have people inside, they can do many things, but you don't get use of them. Okay, it is a challenge of HR as well. Right now, let's see. When I mean prediction, we got to know about this. I'm just having some analysis here to find out the trend of this HR practice. Now, if you are a big organization, you may have people, okay, and we can exactly calculate how many in number. That's fine, but it's difficult for us to calculate how many people can do what. That's the difficult part. I explained it to you. This next problem is out of this list, how many would retire? Because retirement is a cost for you. You got to pay them the pension because I'm talking about the western part of the world's industry law, the labor law. Companies are subject to pay some retirement or the pensions as well. So that's a different story. In some countries, there's no pension for you. If you work for a private company, they give you some funds at the end of your tenure. Okay, your gratuity, your EPF, EDF, if it is in Sri Lankan context, if it is in some other countries, they call it using different names, but some funds you get your eligible to get at the end of your time. Now, that's the monetary problem, but the retirement often staff will cost you a lot sometimes because the replacement of him, we lose a guy, he is there for about 20 years with you. He knows the in and out, inside out, upside down about your industry, about your business, about the customers, and so on. He knows everything. But if you lose him immediately, 20 years of expertise is lost overnight, and the replacement is very difficult. That is what your problem is because HR, if somebody is retired, how are you going to replace him? Okay, you may think that you can replace people easily. It's not easy. Imagine a family with a father, couple of kids, and the mother. If the father suddenly leaves, okay, he may die, he may move overseas, or he may have to attend to some other matter 2 3 weeks away from the family. Think about the family's condition. You don't have anything to do. You don't know what to do because the father used to do everything. He had the capacity to run the family without any problem. Purchasing, transportation, all the arrangements, whatever the activities that happens, father knows what to do. Cash flow, right? School dropping off, picking them, everything is done by him. If you suddenly lose him, the replacement is not easy. Your uncles cannot do that. Your brothers cannot do that for you because they don't know where to purchase, what to purchase, right? Nothing. It's difficult. It takes time to replace them. So if it is a matter of a family, a small little 4 5 people family, think of an organization having 25,000 customers purchasing things from you with about 100 200 employees working inside with the manufacturing. And the worth of the company is $1 to $2 billion. In this case, how are you going to manage if you have someone retires? As that's the problem. Okay, so we have to think about it. And the other part is people quit. Okay, they say I'm leaving. They give you 1 month notice and they leave the company. Sometimes they suddenly leave without any information, any letter, any notice to you as well. That happens as well. So quits. People quit. If they quit immediately, what you do? And stop. I work for your organization. I'm dealing with some customers. I'm the accounts manager dealing with those customers. And if I give you 1 month notice and leave within 1 month, the customers I was handling, who's going to handle? Because I know these customers, I've been dealing with these customers for years or months. I know in and out. I know about them. I know their mindset. I know their treatments. I know the way they operate. And if you lose me, it's not easy for you to replace me. Okay, I don't say it's impossible, but it's very difficult. Okay, so that is another problem. The third problem is about the promotions. When you promote someone, personal from the middle management, if you promote them to the top management, okay, you might have some labels, the bottom level employees, you may promote them to the next level, the middle management. If you promote those guys, you need replacement. You need new people to replace those, and it is again another challenge. Now, out of this, retirement is predictable. You can imagine based on the age of the people, you can say, okay, this guy may retire. That's fine. But the quits, whoever they leave your company to some other company, it's difficult to predict. Okay, when you look at some employees, you can, when you speak to those guys, you may have an idea that this guy have an intention to leave. That is purely guess again. It is difficult to exactly read the mind of people. We don't know when they're going to quit. Promotions as well, we may somewhat predict because we know whom we're going to promote because that is in our control. Okay, so this is so. Now, uh, the age analysis we can do using this example here. You may have employees, right? The age of the employees here, 20 years of age, and you have about 80 employees. 25 years of age is about 150 employees there, and you have about 5 or 6 managers. These are managers. The brown color one is managers, the others are employees. Okay, so if you take this one here, the people 50 years of age, okay, that's the age group, and you have about 380 people, 80 employees there, and you have this number. It's about I think 100 managers. Okay, when you have people like this, you have to do an analysis because age is a factor that you got to consider when they want to go for some retirement. Okay, age is another factor that you can predict is if these people can quit because based on the age, people want to look into some other options. Okay, so age is another concern that decides people to quit, and age is another concern again when you want to promote. Age is a an asset of people. When we recruit people for MBA, we usually ask their age as well. If you don't have the experience, but if you have the age, your age is an asset. It is not a liability. Okay. The older you are, the more experience, the more expertise you have with you, the aged you are. So your age is an asset. People think that that is a liability, not really. Okay, a youngster, if you want to start a business, it will take 5, 10 years. But an elderly man, if he wants to start a business, he may start that business within 1 or 2 weeks' time because he knows. That's what I'm calling the asset. So when you get older, you don't need to worry. You can do things fast. Okay, right now that is the age structure analysis. Let's see this. This is another trend that we need to know that happens in organizations in your HR pattern. Your organization has a size. When I mean size, I'm talking about the employees, number of employees. The size of the organization can be measured in many terms. The revenue that you get will decide how big your company is. The production capacity you have is also another factor that we can use to measure the size of the company. The market size that you operate, the market share that you have, these are all factors that will decide the size of your company. But here, I'm talking about number of employees, okay, that you have. So if you have 100 employees, it's size. If you have 150 employees, you're bigger than that 100 employee company. So I'm talking about the employee size here as a factor to understand this. So the size of your organization, in fact, dollars. Okay, so that's the size. Okay. When year goes, when the time runs, year on year, your business will grow, meaning your employee number will definitely grow in all the sides. Okay, so your number of employees will grow, will go big. Okay, so we need more people. We need to hire people. Okay, we need to hire people. Now, the dynamism of these employees inside your organization work like this. In your organization, you will always have a bigger number of juniors or bottom level workers. We can call them blue collar workers. Blue collar workers. So they are the bigger number. If you take a construction company, you might have 100 staffs there, and 80 of those staffs are laborers. Okay, the bottom level workers. They are the people. They do the manual work. They do this construction work. They do the masonry work. They do the stuff transportation works, carrying, washing, making cement mixtures, and so on. That is the huge population of your workforce. And after that, you have the middle management. Okay, middle management. We call them the professionals. Okay, and above we have the seniors. The middle management, we can call them the white collar workers. You can use that word if not. And the senior workers, we call them the C-suite employees. C-suite employees, C-level employees. We call them the CEO, the COO, who CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Chief CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Chief Learning Officer, CLO. There are different professions that is coming up in organization. Those are the people, they are the seniors. Okay, so we have juniors, we have professionals, we have seniors, we have blue collar workers, we have white collar workers, we have the C-suite workers. Now, people from any of these level may leave your company at any time. They give you maximum 1 month notice or minimum 1 month notice, and they leave. So your CEO may leave in 1 month time. Your supervisor, your marketing manager may leave in 1 month time. 25 of your laborers, of your junior workers, blue collar workers, they also may leave in 1 month time. Okay, so people come inside, people come inside, people come inside your organization to any level. They may take an exit with 1 month of notice. So they leave, right? Now, the hiring of these people, we can bring people from outside. When your CEO leaves, you can bring in another CEO within 1 month, 2 months time, 5 months time. You may bring in from outside. When you lose your white collar workers, a marketing manager, a sales manager, an accounting manager, when he leaves, you can bring him from the outside labor market. That is not a problem. You can do that happens. When your laborers, when your blue collar workers leave, you may need to bring in people from the labor market. So people take exits and you replace them from outside sources. That is one of the part of your dynamism of this labor force inside your organization. The next is about your labor force will have some dynamism, have some mobility within your organization from level to level. A blue collar may move to the white collar. A white collar may move to the C-suites. Okay, that happens. So when people leave here, you need replacement. When people get promoted to the next level, we need replacement for that as well. Right? We need replacements. So you come here, you take exit from there. You come to the junior level, you get promoted, and you take an exit from there. You stay in the middle level, white collar, then you go to the C-suite, and you may leave. So the route map is not fixed to anyone. They may take any route map to move towards the ladder to take an exit. An employee is moving to the next level. It's not because to stay there, it is to find an exit to a better position in a different company. That's the concept you have to keep in mind. If an employee, if an employee is getting promoted, okay, you promote themselves to keep them in your organization because you believe that promote him with some additional salary, some increment, some company benefits, some company car, some company insurance, some company holiday, accommodation. You may provide all of those things. Promote them to the next level. Your concept is to keep him there, but his concept is to go to the next level, take an exit to a better position in a different organization. That's what it is. You train your employees. You provide training for your employees because to get the work done from them. But they get trained to work for the other organization. That is what it happens. That's normal in labor market in today's industry. You don't need to worry, but you cannot ignore training them. You train them. When you train, they go somewhere else to work against you. And whoever the other companies, they train those, they may come and work for you. So companies, they train people to help each other to improve their work. Okay, you write a CV and you go and tell your HR manager, I can do all these things. I have done this in my previous company. Can you give me a job here for a better package? You ask the HR manager. So what I'm saying, you're impliedly telling the previous company helped me grow. They helped me train myself. They developed my competencies. Now I want a position with you. Is it ethics? I don't know, but that's the labor market. Okay, so you should do this because you got to be happy about developing your employees. You got to be happy about developing your employees. When people grow because of your training, of your investment, that is good for your brand. People may recommend people to work for you because what? You are a good trainer. You are a good developer of your employees. You may find jobs elsewhere, another problem, but I train my employees. I look after my employees good. And a powerful employer brand. Okay, right. So there is again another point that we have to consider. Right. Okay. Now, the next part is about this. When a business is growing, okay, let's say you existed in 2022 and you existed in 2023 and you existed, you survived in 2024, and now you have entered into 2025, the next year, right? And look, when you look at these statistics, this information is available to you up to 2024. This is available to you. You can go to your HR department. You can find out how many employees did you have in 2022? How many employees did you have in 2023 and 2024? HR has the statistics, the records of this. And 2025, we don't know. 2026, we don't really know. That is again another year away. Okay, we don't know. But when you see this trend here, for the previous years, we can see there is a growth. There is a growth. There's a growth. Okay, employees are growing because the business is growing. You need more people to work for you. Fine. And in 2022, you had 120 employees, and according to your business growth plan, you wanted 18 employees to work for you, the demand. Okay. If you have 18 employees to be added to your existing workforce, if you have 15 people internally, okay, that is not risky because you only need to recruit 3 people from outside sources. But let me tell you this using an example. Now, we are starting education management. We have already started, in fact, that's a new course. Okay. We have our staff, we have our MBA lecturing panel. We have people lecturing for us, so that's happening. Now, when we start this education management, we need lecturers. There are 6 modules to complete in your education management, masters in education. There are 6 subjects, so we need about 3 or 4 lecturers to run the show, run the lectures. To do this, okay, we already have 2 lecturers inside our organization. They can run 3 or 2 subjects together, or 2 subjects each. I have a master's in education so that I can do 2 subjects. And another lecturer, she also has master's in education. She can also do 2 subjects. And then I have only 2 more subjects to be done by an outsider. So I need to recruit only 1 outside lecturer. That is when I'm calling this is less risky green because I have the majority of the requirement internally available to me, internal availability. And the external recruitment is the risky part, and I only need to do 2 lecturer recruitment. That is not a problem. The problem is that the basic is this 2 subjects. I can start 1 subject now. Second subject can be run by the other lecturer. Third can be done by me. Fourth can be done by other. When this one happens, we can pass about 4 months here or 5 months here. Within that 5 months, I can recruit 2 lecturers or 1 lecturer for those 2 leftover subjects. So it is less risky. But imagine you need 140, you have 140 employees and you need 29 employees additionally for your new project to meet the business growth. And you only have 7 employees internally available to you. You need 22 recruitments. That is risky. Okay, the red light. You have to do this analysis as well. When you enter into the new project, new year project, or next month's new project, you may need people. How many do you have internally available to you? How many do you need to bring from outside sources? And if you compare that number, if the outside requirement is greater than the internal availability, it will be risky for you because it's not easy to recruit people. I call this the most difficult activity in an organization is to bring in new people, because you would see in your organization how many people do you see working inside your organization weekly. If you are a big company, okay, if you have some number of people working inside, just observe from tomorrow onwards, Monday onwards, and see how many new faces you have seen within the last 2 3 weeks. Okay, and how many non-faces have disappeared from your organization. Have a look at it. So many new faces are introduced and so many non-faces are disappearing because the HR is not easy. If you buy some stuffs to sell, you can buy it again, you can do repurchase and sell it, not a problem. But recruitment, you recruit with a big hope, you do interviews, you do assessment centers, you do so many tests, spending a lot of your time. Finally, you give the offer. The guy signs the offer, walk inside the office room. The next day, he would say, I'm not the right fit for this organization, let me leave. Leaves. Okay, so that's risky. If one guy leaves, that is enough to shut the company. We have seen that before our eyes. I tell you one example. There was an educational institution where they thought ACCA. To do some key subjects of ACCA, there were some high-profile lecturers, 3 of them in that organization. This organization started the business trusting these 3 guys. After some times of the business, the thing went wrong. The business, they had some disagreements. Because of the disagreement, these 3 lecturers got together and all 3 of them, they left the company. The next day, the university had to shut because we don't have lecturers to come. You may bring in any lecturer, but the customers, the students, they're not going to come there. They came to the institution to learn from those high-profile lecturers, not from the institute. If one key guy leaves, you will see a big decline in your operation. Okay, so HR is key, right now. Uh, to do your recruitment, your HR plan. We have done some analysis already. Now let's see how we can plan our HR account. Okay. If you are a hospital, you can do some prediction, nurses, patients ratio. If you have 25 beds, we may predict out of these 25 beds, 20 beds will be full all the times, or 20 patients, in-house patients in your boards at a time, at any time. So to deal with these 20 patients, how many nurses do you have? That is a ratio for it. Okay? Based on that, you make your plan. I'm trying to serve 20 patients every day. How many nurses do I need? Professor student ratio, that is again another way of prediction or planning of your HR. How many students do you serve? You want to serve? And how many professors do you need? That is again another way. We call this the leading indicator method. We can use this method to certain requirement of HR for specific organized, specific businesses. This professor, the ratio, the leading indicator method is not appropriate for a software company. We need different methods to predict, to plan the HR account. Which if you want to know, the trend analysis is about analyzing the trend in the past and predict the future. Okay, let me take this. You may be an organization, and in 2021, you had 6,000 million USD revenue. This is the record that you have in your finance department. They tell you 2021 we had 6,000 million USD revenue. At that time, if you contact the HR, they would say we had 30 sales staff. Okay. At that time, they say we had 9 other staff. So altogether, 39 staff and 6 managers. These are all taken from your records. Let's say in 2021, let me explain once again. Your finance department can give you an information about the revenue. We earned $6,000 million. That's the record that you have in your records. And at that time, 2021, you can again recall the records from the HR where how many staffs you had. You had 30 staffs. You had 9 other staff, and altogether 30 plus 9 is 39 total staff. To manage this 39 total staff, we had 6 managers. Okay, so altogether, how many staff we had? 39 plus 6, we had 45. Correct? Calculation? Yeah, 45 staff altogether. Okay. And 2022, we had $648 million to run that revenue. To bring that revenue, we had 35 staff, sales staff, and we had 11 other staff. Altogether, 46 staff. To manage them, we had 7 managers. Okay, you can get that for 2023. You can get that for 2024 as well. Now it's possible. Now, 2025 is on the way. We are already there. In 2025, we need to predict how much of revenue we will earn, how many sales staff we need to earn this money, and how many other staff we need, and how many managers we need. You can calculate easily. How do you do that? Look at the growth rate. 2021, 6,000, 2022, 6,480, and 2023, 6,998 million. If you do this, if you do that, you can calculate how much is going to be its average annual revenue growth. This is the calculation. Okay, it's about 8% of growth. What is this? For 6,000, for 6,000, you had 480 millions of dollar growth. Okay, if you multiply that by 100, that's 8%. So we have 8% growth, 8% growth, 8% growth, roughly 8% growth. And we can calculate how much is it going to be if we grow another 8% here. Right? The same way, we can calculate how many staff you want. The same way, how many managers you want. You have the calculation. Okay. This is a way of planning your HR accounts. Okay, planning your HR accounts. So take the past, the trend, what happened in previous years, and what is the growth rate, how many staff you had, and what is the growth is going to be next year, and how many staff do you need for the next year's growth prediction. I'm always using this one. This is not perfect, but somewhat. If you don't have a plan like this, you won't be having an idea about how many people to recruit. So you may under recruit or you may over recruit. If you over recruit, costly. If you under recruit, it is even costly. So we never do those kind of mistakes. Okay. Another idea here. Let's do that as well. I mean, taking the 5x summits from you. Beyond your timings. Now, this is another method of planning your HR department, HR accounts. The task analysis, we call it here. I'm talking about a restaurant, a pizzeria, okay, a Pizza Hut kind of thing, a Domino's Pizza kind of thing, where you're going to open a new restaurant, you're going to make pizza there, and you make some assumptions. You predict or you assume every single day I may have to serve 200 guests, 200 customers walk inside. And they walk inside the restaurant in 3. Okay, average, 3 people walk inside, friends, 3 people together. because we need table. If you have one customer, you need one table. If you have three customers, again, you need the same one table. So we assume these three people, 200 people will walk inside the restaurant in threes. Okay. Some of them may walk alone, some of them may be 4 or 5 people as well. But we are assuming average 3 people in a table. Okay, so if that is the case, how many tables do we want to prepare? 200. 200. Yeah, it's not, we can leave if you want. If you have any question, we can listen to. You can ask those questions. Right, okay. So 200, divide that by 3, it is 67 tables you have to prepare. In your restaurant, you might have about 10 tables, fine. And you have to serve these 200 customers throughout your operation day. You may open at 8 o'clock in the morning and you may close your restaurant at 12 o'clock in the night. Okay, so that is about 16 hours of operation. So within this time, you have to prepare these 10 tables 67 times. The operation is, your company is operating for about 15 minutes. And each guest, they eat one pizza, okay, and they take 2 drinks, okay, and every staff, they maximum work 8 hours. These are all assumptions. Okay. I'm assuming to do some requirement planning. So 200 guests, they work in threes, and so we need 67 tables to be prepared to serve all these 200 customers. And the shop is open for 15 hours altogether. Each guest, they drink 2 glasses of drink, whatever. The working hour is 8 hours. Based on this, I'm going to do some calculation. To prepare the table, to prepare one table, I need 2 hours. In fact, 2 minutes to clean the table and keep it ready. So if that is the case, I need about 2 hours to clean the table to prepare 67 table. These are all not exact calculation. Okay, somewhat. 67 multiplied by 2 minutes, it's going to be 134 minutes, but I'm making it 2 hours and 20 minutes. There's some tables may be cleaned quicker, some of them may be cleaned with some extra time, so average I'm making. And to take the order from all 67 table, 3 minutes each, so 3 hours. Duration 3 hours, right? Right. To prepare the pizza, one guest eat one pizza, so 200 pizzas to be made, and each pizza will take 4 minutes. So 200 pizza into 4 minutes multiplied by 60 is about 13 hours. Right, right. Now, billing for each 67 table needs 3 minutes, so altogether 3 hours. Chatting with the customer, you need 67 table into 2 minutes each, average, so 2 hours. Preparing the drinks, 400 drinks, because I said each guest will drink 2 average, so 400 drinks. It takes 0.5 minutes, and we need about 3 hours for that. So altogether, we need 10 hours to do all of these work. 10 men hours. And the additional work, the breaks of the staff, that is about 5%. The administration work is about 10%. The miscellaneous work may take 20 minutes, 20%. So 10 hours, 5%, 10 hours, that's the hourly calculation. So now we need, in fact, 5% of 28 hours. Okay, that is this. Now, so you need 28 hours to do all these works, and the additional task will take 10 hours. Altogether, you need 38 man hours to run the restaurant daily. 38 man hours daily to run the restaurant. If it is 38 man hours, a personal, he works for 8 hours a day, so divide that by 8 is going to be 4.7 personal we need. That's the answer here. 4.7, you can't get half man, you can't get 1.5 men. So what to do? We need 4.7 government, you need about 5 people to run the show in this restaurant. 5 people to run the show in this restaurant to serve 200 customers. Your restaurant is open for about 15 hours. You serve them 400 pizzas. You serve them, in fact, 400 drinks to serve them 200 pizzas. Okay. To do all of this work, we need 4.7 people, meaning you need about 5 people to run the show. This is a calculation. You do this. Okay. Task analysis is another method to do your HR accounts. Okay, the last one is this conclusion by analogy. 2 more minutes, please. When I mean conclusion by analogy, what happens is if you have a restaurant already, okay, you are a restaurant operating in Ilford. Okay, so this is a restaurant, Ilford restaurant. Okay, now you want to open another restaurant in Wembley. To do this, you can easily copy the requirement of Ilford restaurant to your Wembley's new opening restaurant. How? How many customers do you serve in Ilford? You have the record. You may serve about 400 customers there. Okay, you have the record because you're already running that restaurant. And to run this 400 customer restaurant, you have 20 people. You know who they are. How many chefs, how many cleaning staff, how many crew members, how many lobby staff, we know. If it is the case, in your Wembley new restaurant, if you are expecting or assuming 200 guests per day, you need half of these 20 staff here. That is the analog. So existing requirement of a workforce in an organization, you take that as a formula to calculate how many people you want if you run exactly the same business in a different place. This is the conclusion by now. So if you have a restaurant already, you can do this calculation for your another branch, that's fine. But the problem is, if it is your first restaurant, you don't have this information for you, so how to do that. In that case, if you have access to some other restaurant in the city, you can get use of that data. Let's say you are XYZ restaurant, you don't have any branches, this is your first branch, you got to open in one city. But there is ABCD restaurant in the same food that you're going to sell, operating already in the but if you know exactly how many staff do they have, you can take it as a formula for you to calculate the requirement of your HR when you open your restaurant. This is called analysis. So I said 4 methods here. What is it? The leading indicator method, the trend analysis method, the task analysis, and after that, the conclusion by analysis. There are so many other methods. There are so many other methods that you can learn from Google and see. You can study other methods as well. So there's exercise, this exercise, do this exercise, and do some work. A UK hotel group, they recently expanded successfully into France, Germany, and Italy. Now they wish to enter into UAE market. So to do this UAE market, they have to have a plan. How many staff do they need? When do they need? First year, second year, third year. And the key point in this exercise is this. When you make your HR plan, you never make that for the next year. You always make it for the next 3 years, 3-year plan. Okay? Then we know what we can do because you never recruit overnight for tomorrow's recruit. You have to have an idea about how many staff do you need for the next year, the year after, and the third year as well. Okay, right. So that is it from me, and I see you in the next session. Thank you very much for waiting. I've taken some of your extra time. I apologize. I see you later. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Have a good weekend, in fact. I see you later. Thank you very much.